Lubel.
There we go.
How are you, sir? Come on, sit down.
First for me, the first time I've ever gone to a podcast studio after a show.
Yeah. This is great. The legend Al Lubel himself is
Very
here
nice.
with us.
When did I actually become a legend? Is there a moment where you become a legend?
I think the moment. I don't know. What would you say with the moment?
I don't know.
Like when did people start to hail you as
Like
the
doing
legend?
the Tonight Show or something? Is that what?
I don't know if that just that moment.
When was the first time you heard it?
Because I don't remember ever on my own ever thinking I'm a legend. I'm now a legend. Like it never has hit me like.
But when did somebody first called you? Do you remember? Like when
You
somebody
know,
said,
I think
the
the
legendary...
the first time I remember the comic, I can't remember his name, so maybe that guy's not a legend. But it was downstairs at Stand Up New York, and he said to me, "You're a legend." And I remember thinking, "Oh my God, that sounds old. I'm old." Yeah, there were very few young legends.
You're a living legend.
Yeah, right, a living legend, which is. I guess it's definitely better than a dead legend, but not but arguably not as legendary. I mean, there are a lot of dead legends that are more legendary than me, but I'd rather be less legendary and more alive.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go for sure. How was the show tonight?
It was good. It was fun. Yeah, I liked it. It's always good to get to do an hour, and in New York City, all the spots are 15 minutes at most. You know?
Yeah, like if you're doing the Cellar or
Yeah.
Broadway and stuff like that. Yeah,
Right, and so it's really a good feeling to get to do an hour.
Is this the first time you've done an hour in a while, or?
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I did it. I did a few. I was living in L.A. When we talk in your podcast.
Yeah.
I did a few solo shows. I'd rent out my own theater and have a few solo shows.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Where I was the only person in the room.
Yeah, why not? Your theater, right? You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, why invite anybody? Yeah. But yeah, so I did that. I didn't do hour 15, hour 20 or something, and but I did a little of that in LA, and I moved here like 2.5 months ago. Wasn't getting enough stage time. Well, I had stage time. I wasn't having audiences, and yeah. So I moved back here. So I don't think since I've been here I've done an hour. No, it's always been these 15-minute spots, and there is something to get out of that. You keep trying to make it better and tighter, and figure out ways to get the most possible laughs while still being true to yourself and not doing jokes you don't like. You know, so there is a certain art form to that. But still, it's much more fun, I think, to do a longer set and experiment, be more experimental.
Do you find that you have more trouble being true to yourself when you have such a long time, like an hour, where you just have to fill the time or come out with maybe some of your greatest hits or something, or you just true? I know you're probably more true to yourself no matter what, because that's more
the
what
hour
you
gives
do.
it.
But I think in an hour, I'm more true in an hour
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I could do because a lot of my material is longer routines, like
Right,
and
yes.
I can't really do a long routine, and maybe one in 15 minutes, but I can't do a few of them.
Right,
So in an
right.
hour, I can do a few of them. So I feel more, comfortable in an hour.
Right. Okay.
We were talking about the documentary. You talk about being a legend. I think that helps add to the legend when there's having this documentary out. What's the feedback been like? I mean, everybody in the hallway we spoke to was buzzing that you were here,
Really?
and then the next sentence like, "Did you see this documentary? It was freaking amazing."
Well, I'm surprised that a lot of people have seen it. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, that's all they were talking about before
Really?
you got here in the hallway tonight. Yeah.
Really, a lot
Yeah.
of the comedians have seen.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
heard it's popular among comedians.
Yeah.
right.
Like I know Nathan McIntosh, who played the big room.
Right.
That's all he was talking about before tonight.
Wow.
He just couldn't wait for you to get here.
Oh, that's good. Well, actually,
Yeah.
I didn't. It's funny. We were both on at the Cellar 2 nights ago,
Oh,
and I
wow.
didn't realize he was going to be here this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, very nice guy. And,
You need a water or something? Like we got water.
Yeah,
I'll
if you
get
got one.
Yeah, I'll
Thank-
get it.
Thank you. But yeah, that's good. I know a lot of comedians. I heard a lot of when I was living in LA. I heard a lot of New York comedians are liking it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And are you back now in New York full time? Are you living here?
Yes, I moved back the beginning of January. I drove cross country and moved back.
That's fun. Was it
I
a
live in-
5-day drive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just about 5 days, and it was.
You were spending time in Europe, right?
Yeah, I was in England for a few years doing stand-up. I was living in London and doing stand-up around, Europe and London and England. And it was good to do. I liked it doing it to a different audience that still they speak English. They have different reactions, different
Right, yeah.
types. But luckily my humor is very about me, so I don't have to change my act for them.
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of their comedians aren't popular here and vice versa. So I was
Right.
curious. You didn't have to change anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And they related. They liked it.
Yeah, they did. There's only one, like in the Netherlands, it's funny, there's one word that they don't really use, the word dawn, like dawning on me. It dawned on me, and I have a joke where I say it dawned on me, and it never worked there. I thought, I never understood it. And then I asked somebody, and then they go, we don't use the word dawn like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Who would think a word like that?
So
Of
did
all
you change it
words.
up? What did you change it to?
No, I just stopped it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
stopped doing it. It dawned on me to stop it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you have some classic bits, like when you sing, when you first get out on stage.
I
You do
did
that
that
tonight?
tonight,
Yeah.
yes.
So he gets out there and he sings, and he's just like, get a little bit of laughter now, a little bit quieter now, it's a little bit better now. It's just, I love it, man. It's just so, and he goes like on, like it, you think it's okay, he's gonna stop, and he just keeps going, and it's just so awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Where
so-
did you see me do that?
On your documentary?
Oh, but there it got cut. Then the crowd started leaving. That was at the Borgata, but so I cut it short. But you've actually seen me do the full thing?
Yeah,
Where?
I've watched it probably on YouTube, because I have seen you do the full thing.
Oh, no, really? Actually, you haven't. It's funny. It's actually fuller.
Oh, is it?
Because in the documentary, you see me singing a little bit at Flappers.
Right.
And then you see me doing it at the Borgata. But it's actually a lot longer than that. So that you probably like it. If you get a kick out of the length you've seen, it's
I
actually
do.
like 3 times longer.
I think that there's an art to that, to stretching the bit,
Right.
to where all of a sudden it's too long, and then it's so much longer that it's funny again. It's even
Right.
more funny. It gets funnier as it gets longer, because you're like, what is he doing? And
Right.
so I just think that's a great thing. I love that. And then also the Al Lubel. I'm Al Lubel. Al
thank you.
Lubel.
Thank you.
You love your name and all that. I just think the material's great, and how our audiences now, in the wake of the documentary and everything, do you feel the audiences are reignited to see you?
I think so. I was surprised there was a good-sized crowd in there. Because Rob said he didn't, the producer said he didn't do that much effort into getting, but there were a lot of people. There were a good-sized crowd. So I don't know. He said a lot of people heard about me with the documentary. So that was really cool that it's helping. you know.
It's a nice room too, because that's fairly. They just recently expanded it, so
Oh, really?
yeah, it's
It
a
was
nice
smaller.
room.
It used to be
Yeah,
called
yeah.
the little room. Now
Right.
it's the giggle room.
Right.
Now, another cool thing too is that when we did our interview, and I just posted this little bit of our interview up on Instagram, was when you were talking about the therapist who told you to press against the fear.
Right.
And I don't know if we really had a chance to get into that more about pressing against the fear and what that means,
Right.
and how you took that.
I never could figure out what he meant. No, I think what he meant was try to push through it. Like, you're going to always be scared, but try to keep, granted, some fears you shouldn't push through, obvious ones like, putting your hand in fire. There's reasons for these fears. But a lot of the fears are, especially I have a bad case of it, the mind, thinking about something too much. You could always find where the fear is if you think about something too
Oh,
much.
of course, yeah.
And your brain is actually designed for that. It's designed to protect, keep you alive.
Right.
And so it thinks negatively. One's brain will always think negatively just to protect you. And it's not thinking about the long term. It's thinking of the short term protection. Whereas long term protection is arguably healthy. Like, take a risk now and later you'll be safer. And your brain should like that, but your brain doesn't think about later safer, thinks about now safer. And so as a kid, I was being an only child, alone in my room a lot, and my mother smothering me and so afraid for me. I became afraid for me. And then constantly thinking about why I should not do things, afraid of this, afraid of that. And that's why he said press against the fear. And I really didn't take his advice much. I mean, it's always been, I give in to the fears, but occasionally I forced myself out of it. Like, going to London, I was really scared to go there alone. I didn't know anybody. I was terrified, but I just did it, So occasionally I take too many chances. Like, I remember partly, I was on an antidepressant at the time. This is like 20 years ago, and I know that helped me do it. But I was doing a cruise ship gig, and we stopped at the island of Santorini. I don't know if you ever heard, it's a Greek island. It's a great island. Unbelievable. It's a mountainous island. It's a big mountain.
Oh, cool.
And when you get on it, they have a scooter, like a motor scooter you could rent. It goes like 50 miles an hour. And I can't believe I did this. I rented that motor scooter, and you ride around the island, and there's no railings. And literally, if you hit a rock or something or a hole in the wall, and you just fall off the fucking island
You're
and
swimming,
die.
yeah.
You die. And me, a guy who's so afraid of death, did this. I can't believe I did it. And I remember actually doing a gig in the Netherlands like 4 years ago, and I was talking to some people at the bar after the show, and they told me their friends went to that island, and 2 of their friends rode a moped and died on that island.
But that was after you already done
Yeah,
it.
I've already done it.
So you were like a superhero to them.
Man, I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, that's true, maybe. But I think another reason I did it is few weeks before that, I had a cruise ship gig that went to the Tahiti, and I did it there. But that was flatland, so I had an experience.
Right.
But still, now I would never do that again on an island like that, up like that with no border.
Didn't you
I
ride
can't believe I
donkeys
did
or
it.
something?
Yeah, that was crazy.
He rode on donkeys. What was that at the
Grand Canyon.
So he did the donkey trip. And
Yeah.
he it's on the documentary. It's how I know this. And you looked pretty terrified.
Terrified.
Yeah. but you got through it.
Yeah, I got through it because I was forced, I guess, because I kept screaming and like stop and like, yeah. But what's amazing about it didn't. My friend did it. I probably would have never done it, but my friend wanted to do it. We would drove cross country from law school to L.A. But he said, let's do it. And I wasn't thinking about it. And we were very competitive. We played racquetball competitively and basketball. So I figured he's doing it, I'll just do it without giving it 1 second of thought.
Right. And that's the thing. It's usually after the fact, right?
Yeah.
You realize what you did. Like you
Not
said,
just
you'll
after, during the fact.
Sure.
I realized, what? I can't believe this.
Right.
I was terrified.
Yeah.
So
During
as
the
it's
fact.
happening, you're
I was
fear.
freaked out. I freaked out. Like my friend pointed out, like in the documentary, I forgot I had said that to him, but he pointed out. I thought it was very funny that I was afraid that the donkey, when he's walking, I was afraid he'd fall because he wasn't looking at his feet when he's walking. They walk straight
they
ahead.
go around the edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have
scary.
the ability to really look down. They can't. And I thought, how can he do this? But I didn't seem to care that he's a donkey and they've been doing this for millions of years. And I thought, what if I fall off and he takes me down with him? And I was just terrified. And I remember another instance of that fear was I met a really pretty woman. I was like 26, and she was gorgeous. And my law boss owned a hot air balloon.
Oh, yeah.
And he was going up in the hot air balloon, and I figured I'll impress her. My boss invited me, and I figured I'll impress her.
Nice.
And it's another thing where I didn't think about what it would be like
Right.
when I'm in it.
You've done that.
And that was terrifying for me too.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, it is scary when you're up there and there's no sound, there's no motor or
Yeah.
anything, you're just floating.
Really,
And then
yeah.
and you're just in this basket, and it starts to occur to you, you're not attached to anything. There's no bungee or anything. You could literally just fall out.
Yeah, and you're in the fucking clouds, and you feel like I'm in heaven. I'm dead.
It is. It's a real feeling.
I'm in heaven, And also, I felt like in hell because you see the fire from the balloon. I'm in hell too. Yeah. And like, what's funny is that it didn't occur. Like, I never got another date with that girl because like she couldn't believe how scared I was. I was so terrified,
Crying in her arms.
Frightened. I wasn't crying, but I was like so scared, and she was so relaxed. She's like a normal.
She's having the
human.
greatest day ever. Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, because I couldn't believe it. We're up in inside clouds.
And that basket is break at any
Yeah.
moment.
And she was so beautiful, this woman. I remember her name, Kelly. She was so gorgeous that I didn't think about what the ride might be like. All I thought about was her. I'm
Yeah.
going in a hot air balloon, Kelly. All I thought about was the Kelly, not the hot air balloon.
So when you're up there, you don't have like a poker face. You just like straight up panic mode.
It's actually a good plan. Let me hug you, Kelly,
didn't
the whole
even-
time. Tighter, Kelly, to
Didn't
help
even think
me.
about that because all I could think, I couldn't get past that. I'm in a hot air balloon. The word Kelly didn't enter the brain. I was just hot air balloon. I couldn't believe it with the clouds. No one prepared me
Right.
for inside white clouds in the sky.
Yeah, you're about a mile up. Yeah.
Wow.
Terrified.
All right, I not that I want to cut this short, but I received a text from in the hallway.
They need out?
They want him out by 9:15 because he has to get back to the city.
All right.
Okay, thank
So
you. By the way, do you guys? I'm sure you tape this, right? Can I? Get
Oh,
a
yeah.
copy
Yeah,
of
we'll
this?
definitely tape
Well,
it.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Is it
live.
okay if I don't smile? I'm trying to no smile phase.
Yeah, we both don't smile then.
It's live on Facebook as we speak, but we could we'll get him the link and
you can
stuff.
get me-
We'll cut this interview part.
Yes,
and
we'll
send
edit it,
to you.
yeah.
I'll
Thank you
definitely
very
get to you.
Okay.
You get the other one we did, right?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Feel
Oh,
free
that
to.
was on this because we was just me and you. I don't think.
Yeah, it was
No,
on the station
right.
through
Oh,
Govs Radio
Okay.
as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. Pleasure.
Oh,
Al,
thank
you're the
you.
best, man.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Al.
you, brother.
Thank you. Nice meeting
Pleasure.
you.
Nice
meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great. Wow.
Al Lubel, everybody. Check out the documentary as well. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. Where can they? Where can they find the documentary?
It's running free.
Right now, YouTube. All the other platforms. Amazon, there's an issue right with that. But it's all the other platforms except for Amazon.
Okay, cool. So so check out it's
Yeah,
running
Mentally
free.
Al. Mentally Al. You can rent it or buy it.
Yeah, it's a great documentary.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
It's funny. It takes you through all the roller coaster of emotions. You're gonna get it all. So it's really good, really insightful too. So yeah, appreciate it.
Except for a hot air balloon.
Yeah, no hot air balloon in there. So it is Al on a donkey if you want to see that.
And after a hot air balloon, like years after.
Yeah, you'll see him years after.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you, man.
Al
Appreciate it.
Lubel, everybody.
Very nice. All right.
All right.
Good. All right. So we